everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. Today, we are dipping into a what if scenario. The issue that came out a few weeks ago is entitled "What If Donald Duck Became the Mighty Thor?" Donald Duck, the Mighty Thor, versus the Stone Ducks from Saturn. So, everybody, needless to say, this is a little bit out of our normal purview. And I was honest about this on the pregame. I was probably not going to give a full episode to this issue if I did not have a complete ringer of a guest lined up. An old friend from Theology Beer Camp. We are going to talk about Theology Beer Camp and what's coming up there at that event at the end of the episode. But it was a perfect time to bring back my buddy Joshua Noel because he is a massive Disney fan. He knows more about Donald Duck than I ever will, and he is equipped for this conversation. So Joshua, welcome back to Across the Bifrost and this issue, this zany issue.
Yeah, I feel like I texted you like back in like June. I was like, hey,
oh yeah.
Once
it got released on previews, I was like, Joshua, we have to do this, right?
Well, it's so funny because I've always loved Disney, but I haven't been into like, other than like Darkwing Duck specifically, I haven't been into like the Duck comics until earlier this year. We did an episode on Scrooge McDuck on Systematic Ecology, and then now they did a whole deep dive, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a rich history of Duckburg comics, and they're wild.
I mean, and in this issue, we get Donald Duck. Yes, we get the Stone Ducks from Saturn, and we get Huey, Dewey, and Louie are also in this issue. And Marvel has been, I would not super recently, but like there's been an issue that's come out. What if Donald Duck became Wolverine? I have not. Did you enjoy that issue? I assume you read that.
Oh, I downloaded it and never read it, but I'm excited to read it.
Wow. Okay, everybody, I'm sorry. I needed to bring Joshua in on a better note than to set him up for. I downloaded it. I did not read it. I think it's next month or the month after that. We're getting what if Minnie Mouse became Captain Marvel? So Minnie is getting her own what if. I'm waiting for like what if Mickey Mouse became Spider-Man, or what if Goofy became Captain America, or something like that.
Goofy should be Spider-Man.
Goofy should be Spider-Man.
One of those, like, like the old Goofy sports shorts.
Yeah.
They're trying to show you how to do web slinging, and it's all wrong. Would be
that would be funny. So it seems like these Disney Marvel crossovers are at least going to be a thing for a little while. We're going to get a few of them, and this is the second in the unofficial series of what if Disney Marvel crossovers. Joshua, before we jump into the actual issue, you did mention that you're a fan of Darkwing Duck, you're the Duckburg kind of gang, you're a Disney fan. Twofold question here, and kind of take this however you want, man. Where did your love of Disney come from? And then more specifically, like the Duck characters. I know Darkwing is a big deal for you. You've interacted with some of the creatives behind Darkwing Duck in the past. So take that however you want, man.
Yeah, so well, I grew up in Florida, so we went to Disney World.
You're right down the road.
Yeah. And my dad actually, for a long time, he worked in South Carolina and we lived in Florida. So he like flew commute. Okay. And he wasn't there during the week. He would just come on like on the weekends. So they always felt like they had to make weekends big, I guess. And they were like, hey, Florida, especially back in the 90s, it was not breaking the bank to get a season pass if you lived in Florida. So we just went to Disney a lot. And actually, I liked all the characters. I had a lot of fun with it, and I was always big into like the DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Rescue Rangers, Tailspin.
They all kick ass.
Yeah, that's my jam. So like it was just fun as a kid, it was cool. And it really has been like the last few years. The DuckTales show came out, and obviously David Tennant was on it, so I had to watch it every single episode because David Tennant was on it.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. And I think what was funny is like I was like unsure if I was really going to watch it, or if I was just going to say that I watched it because of David Tennant, because sometimes you do these things.
I appreciate your brutal honesty. Through the history of our friendship, I'm just like, well, I don't know if Joshua can bullshit me. I don't think he will. I just think he's that painfully honest.
It's a thing. But through one of the previews, like they had like each character do like a preview of who they were, and it's such like killer cast in DuckTales. And I have a whole episode on that somewhere else, and whatever, we can link it if we want. But
I'll link it.
David Tennant's comes up, Scrooge McDuck, and he talks about how he created a time machine and says all this stuff, and at the end goes Allons-y, and I'm like, oh, they're not even going to pretend like they're not cashing in.
They're doing it's the Leo DiCaprio meme where you're just pointing at the TV. You're like, yes, yeah, it's the thing from the thing.
So obviously, got to watch this, and it was amazing. And then from there, because they had episodes with Darkwing Duck, so I went back and reinvigorated my love of Darkwing Duck. They had episodes of the Three Caballeros, and I've always enjoyed Three Caballeros at Disney World, and I was like, got back into it, and just kind of nerded out. And then the Darkwing Duck comic started last year, and I think that was like the tipping point. Is I started communicating with Amanda Dibert, the writer, and she's like a big LGBTQ. She's part of that community, a big vocal supporter for those rights and stuff like that. And she's a really cool person. I got to know her, got to into these comics and learning all like the fun facts and like the rich history. Even like Scrooge McDuck comics, how that was like for a while was literally the largest selling comics ever and won Eisners. And I'm like, I didn't even know any of this. How did I miss all this? And I'm like, oh, because it was before I was born.
By a few decades. I think Will Rose was a young man back then.
Yeah. But now I'm just like, I'm sold out on the Duck universe. I love it. It's so much fun.
So you said you grew up going to Disney. I've been to Disney World once. It was a fantastic experience. How many times have you, just ballpark, how many times have you been to Disney World?
More than 100.
More than 100?
I'm pretty confident.
Favorite ride or attraction at Disney World?
For nostalgia's sake, or for like actually this is the best ride sake?
As long as you don't say it's a small world, I don't care.
The actual best ride is the Guardians Rewind.
I'd see.
It just is the best ride.
We went, I think 6 months before that had opened. So I have not been on that.
It's great. Nostalgia's sake. See, it's difficult because I would say Splash Mountain, but they remodeled that recently and I haven't rode it since. So I don't want to be like, hey,
it's is it Tiana's Bayou Adventure now?
Yeah. Outside of that, to be really obnoxious, the Goofy coaster. It's a small kid coaster, but TJ and I both are in on this, of like acting like this is the all-time best coaster of all time.
Okay.
Ever, period. Riding it, screaming, throwing your hands up, and just having such a fun time. And then even when we ride like new cool stuff like the Velocicoaster, being like, oh, that was great. That might be the second best coaster I've ever rode, next to the Goofy coaster.
I'll tell you this: when we went to Universal, we did Disney World and Universal in the same week.
Perfect.
And the Velocicoaster had just came out. I passed out twice.
Oh,
it was gnarly. Like
don't try the Goofy coaster then.
It hit speeds of like Mach 5. The Velocicoaster at Universal though, I passed out twice. There's photographic evidence of me passed out on that. And it was, if you ever want a funny story, Joshua, this year at beer camp, ask him about me passing out on the Velocicoaster.
I'll have to. But also I realized I lied. Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite ride.
Oh, okay.
And I only realized that because you said picture, and it reminded me there is a picture, because I didn't know there was a picture being taken on Pirates.
Okay.
Until I started having the magic bands, and then they just sent you pictures to your phone. And this was before Star Wars Galaxy opened or anything like that.
Galaxy Star Wars wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, no. The only Star Wars thing they had then is they had this after party. So you could go have unlimited drinks, have unlimited food, hang out with stormtroopers and Darth Vader, and then they would escort you to the front of the fireworks show for Hollywood Studio, which was all Star Wars themed.
Yeah.
Really cool. Hollywood Studios closed an hour before Magic Kingdom. Our group included me, some other friends, TJ. I don't want to say those friends' names because no one cares. And because I don't have rights to their names.
You don't have rights. You have rights to TJ. By the way, everybody, TJ is a fellow co-host of Systematic Geekology with Joshua, and he also has done panels for Beer Camp in the past. So he works in these spheres of people.
Yeah, but back then he was the only one that wasn't 21.
Oh God.
Okay, he was the only one that was not wasted. We finished Hollywood Studios wasted after getting drunk on a spaceship. I mean, you have to.
Getting drunk on a spaceship. It definitely helps.
Someone points out to me, Josh, you still have a whole Yeti full of rum. Why don't we go to Pirates of the Caribbean while it's still open?
So a whole Yeti full of rum? Are you a savage?
And then so there's a picture of me just holding out this Yeti full of rum on Pirates of the Caribbean because we wrote it for an hour straight. And TJ just sitting next to me while I'm like, oh, and he's just there. He's like, it's the best photo.
Josh, what's the best time you've had at Disney World that you remember? Well, that I remember is difficult. I will just quickly say Avatar's Flight of Passage is a badass ride.
Yeah, great stuff.
And the It's a Small World ride should be banned. That ride is so freaking annoying and terrifying.
At night, it's scary.
And then just at the end, it's like all these people of different colors and different ethnicities, all in like whitewashed heaven. It's like, I feel like this is a theological statement.
Yeah, no, it's bad. But also, yeah, no, I won't get into it. There's a whole history of how we wouldn't be where we are with robotics without Disney creating rides. And that's all I'll say.
So if you want to know more about Disney and Joshua's obsession with Disney, check out Systematic Geekology. We'll link some stuff in the bio.
I can give you a link to all the Disney episodes.
I'm not gonna give people homework, Joshua. Here's what we'll do.
They can reach out to me personally.
I'll link Systematic Geekology as a whole in the description. People can check it out, go looking for the Disney episodes they want, and we'll link your social media. So if they want to ask you more Disney questions, they can, so that you and I can get on with our What If Donald Duck Became Thor, combining your passion for Disney and this podcast's explicit goal to educate the masses about Mighty Thor. Here we go, Joshua. This is like,
wild.
We're reading like, Alan Miller, Alan Moore, level stuff. I don't know who Alan Miller is. So we open up. This is, for those of you that are Thor fans and you've been Thor fans for a while, the plot of this issue is Journey into Mystery 83. It's his, with a few little deviations. It is just the plot of Thor's first appearance with Donald Duck in the role of Thor. So I don't even feel like I need to give you a plot synopsis here, because if you know Journey in Mystery 83, you know what this comic is about. But a few little deviations, Joshua, where this kind of alters the story of Thor's origin, is Donald and his three nephews are going to Norway.
Wait, Donald Blake or Donald Duck?
Donald Duck in the role of Donald Blake, we'll put it that way. And they go to Norway. They're looking for Viking artifacts, and apparently the Norwegian government is super cool about it. So they just let these four ducks go take shovels and picks into just random plots of land. And it was like, oh, that's not, stealing our cultural, artifacts and items from our past, whatever. And just like in Journey to Mystery 83, the spaceship of the Stone Men of Saturn show up, but this time they're stone ducks from Saturn. Whoa. And they're testing out all their weapons and stuff. Donald is kind of angry. He's walking away with like a broken part of a shovel that plays the role of Donald Blake's cane from the original first appearance. He gets stuck in a cave. And, the testing of the powers happens after he's transformed into the Mighty Thor. And
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to interrupt the synopsis for a question?
Well, either way, Joshua, you already have.
Oh, sorry.
Go right ahead. What's your question?
It was just a stick that then became the hammer. Is that normal?
Yep. It's the cane.
I was unsure.
A cane.
I knew that
was
the hammer.
Donald Blake
created
falls
Donald Blake
into
to Thor, but I didn't know the hammer itself changed too.
Yeah, so the hammer kind of has an alter ego as well. It's this cane that
Okay.
lame Dr. Blake. They refer to him as lame all the time, and weirdly enough, he suits both meanings of the word. He's he is lame in both ways. Donald Blake in the original appearance finds the cane in the cave. I think they adjust that a little bit in here where Donald has the broken piece of the shovel that becomes the cane. And then from that point on,
Mhm.
it is almost shot for shot the exact first appearance of Thor. We see the Mechano monster and the stone ducks fight against Thor, and then Thor is able to thwart them, and then Donald transforms back into his regular guise, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie and Donald go back to the good old US of A after their excursion in Norway, where Donald has found ultimate power in the form of the
Yeah,
hammer.
no big deal.
So yeah, Joshua, I know you are the Donald Duck super fan here, so I'm going to lean heavily on like tidbits of knowledge you know with Donald. Were there any? Well, first of all, were there any inside like Donald Duck references in here?
That's a good question. I wasn't reading that
Do you
deeply
have a
into
good
it.
answer?
I wasn't reading that deeply into it because like it felt like it was just a hey, we're going to recreate this Thor comic, but for modern children audience, which I
Yeah.
think is cool. Hey, get kids excited about Thor again. I'm down for it. Um,
Again, how dare you? How
well,
dare you imply
you
that
know,
Thor
every
is
couple of
not
years you
popular with
gotta
the children?
excite the new generation. I don't know.
What were some Donald Duck parts of this that you as a Donald Duck fan appreciated first and foremost?
So I'm gonna get weird. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Donald
we're
Duck.
getting there? I thought we were
I think
there.
reading it, I was initially kind of weirded out. Like, wait, what makes Donald Duck worthy? Because he reads the thing like, oh, whoever's worthy will possess the thing, and I'm like, what makes
I'm
Donald
glad
Duck
you asked
worthy?
that because I was going to.
And then, well, where my brain goes, and this is really weird. If you know like all the history of Donald Duck for like the last 80 years or so, Donald Duck, one of his origins, he was part of commercials to get people to enlist. And he went to the Navy. That was Donald Duck's thing. And if you pay really close attention, it's highly suggested that the reason Donald Duck is the way he is now, where he's all angry and he randomly snaps and he just has to walk off sometimes, is because he has really bad PTSD.
Oh my
He's
God.
traumatized. Yeah. And
Holy shit.
it's
That's
also why he
deep.
lost his wife, which is why he has Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and there is no Miss Duck.
So wait,
Yeah, like
Daisy's not a thing?
Daisy's like his girlfriend after he started to kind of like get back to normal.
Oh my
I think
God.
a lot of this is
This is
speculative because they
terrible.
don't explicitly say it, but it's highly suggested that this is what happened.
Oh my gosh. I feel like
It's
my knowledge of this duck is so minimal.
that's where like if you watch like DuckTales, he can't get a job, and like part of it is like he keeps getting angry and doing these things, and you're like, oh, he just has PT. This is like every other person who used to be in the military and can't get a job, and you're like, oh, this is wow, that's kind of mean. Why is it just acting so nonchalantly about this?
Good grief.
But it's just there. But I think that's what like what's interesting though is like the fact that he's walking off. He doesn't want them to see his anger. Like I'm seeing, and you see this maturity in Donald Duck, where like even though he flips, he has these snaps, he has this PTSD. You could see where he doesn't want to be that. And I think that's what makes him worthy to me. And I might be reading into it way too much. It might just be they wanted him to be Thor, so here he is. But
Hey,
but just knowing the history of him, I'm like, that's actually really interesting that he is worthy, even though he's struggling with this.
there is a small uh there's a small thing in the back here where a senior editor from Marvel Comics does explain why Donald is mighty, why he is worthy. And there's one sentence in here where it says, where the Odinson, Thor, is noble and heroic, Donald Duck would be an agent of pure feathery chaos, smiting any who dared cross his ill-tempered will.
That's also probably true.
It's very true. And we just learned in our conversation with Walt Simonson a few weeks ago, which everybody, if you haven't checked that out, please do. It's a fantastic episode, and Faz and I worked really hard on that. The thing that Walt brought up was that a Norse, like in a true Norse god sense, victory and inflicting, retribution on your enemies, that would be considered a noble thing.
Yeah,
So
Donald Duck's a warrior.
maybe Donald Duck has more of a standing as a warrior than we give him credit for. Joshua, were there any other aspects of this comic that just stood out to you that you enjoyed? I had a few that I really enjoyed, but I would really love to hear yours first.
I just liked how goofy it was. Like this is like, it felt like I could just turn my brain off. And sometimes that's nice.
You
like,
definitely
I could just
could.
watch him. It's like Donald Duck's just going to hit some guys. And then I love that Huey, Dewey, and Louie just don't believe it at the end. And that Donald Duck doesn't do anything to try to prove himself. He's just like, okay. I don't believe it. Whatever.
That's okay. So I want to come back to that part. One of my favorite parts was there's a big splash page after Donald has transformed and he goes back to fight the Stone Ducks. He's already faced off against like the illusion of the dragon in the sky, which is a kind of a minor aspect of the original comic. But then we get this full big splash of Donald striking this pose, standing up on a rock, and the Stone Ducks are like, "Oh shoot!" And he's summoning the lightning. I actually really loved the art on that page.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful comic.
Goofy, and beautiful, very very clean, very classically Disney. But there were some really fantastic panels in here, and the updates they did to the Mechano monster, the robot at the end, were really cool. And I know that's almost like slander when you talk about a thing that Jack Kirby originally designed. It was really funny to see the Disney kids comic approach to artwork that Jack Kirby made famous. And that was just kind of as like a comic book nerd, that is something that I really actually kind of enjoyed. But let's get to that last little part you were talking about, Joshua, where they're driving away and Donald has this like moment of clarity where he's just like, nephews, you should know, or the nephews are like, can you believe it? The alien invasion was prevented by a real superhero. And Donald just straight up says, nephews, you should know, that was me. I found a cane that turned into Mjolnir and I became Thor. All of his nephews are just like, okay, whatever. You must have fallen asleep and dreamed all that, Uncle Donald. Anyway, we managed to find some beautiful ancient Viking relics, even without your help. And then Donald, winking to the reader, says, well, at least we know what really happened. And then we got it's almost like a dun 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 dun, like out of the
it's fantastic
of the comic. So, Joshua, any final thoughts on this incredibly vital, essential issue for the history of Donald Duck and the history of Thor?
I going back to the art, I think that's what the thing that stands out most is really just the art. I mean, it's very Disney, and yet it still seems to capture all the right parts of Thor that I want to see. So I was like, had all the right essence. The only thing maybe that I would change is the hammer being written in English. I'm like, I didn't love that, but it's also definitely a for kids comic, so that's fair.
Oh yeah. Totally agree. The artwork you're right. So classically Disney, and I'm assuming that when Disney licenses a comic, whether it's some of the Dynamite comics they've done, like the villain comics that are getting,
great stuff, especially the
Scar villain comic. Okay.
So good.
You have to keep the character model pretty tight. It's not like they're going to let you get kind of, fancy and flippant with the design. But I thought they stuck to the design of Donald very, very iconically. But when he was in the Thor costume, it weirdly didn't feel out of place. And I know that sounds strange.
They did it really well.
About a Disney character. Which did you get a physical copy of this, Joshua?
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, I got the physical copy of the Walt Simonson cover where Donald Duck is doing the Beta Ray Bill Thor 336 pose. It is kind of unsettling to see Donald Duck's head on Beta Ray Bill's body, but it's fantastic read. And Joshua, do you want to move on and talk a little bit about some Theology Beer Camp stuff?
Yeah. Just real quick, I am excited. We're going to be me and then aforementioned TJ, we'll be talking with Benjamin Chica about video game philosophy and how it shapes our culture and how our theology can both react and interact with that kind of philosophy that we find in our video games, especially centering around like courage kind of stuff. And yeah, I've been given homework, so I don't know exactly what all we're going to do. I have to read.
Ben Chica, super cool dude. He's I'm excited to meet him and talk to him. I am currently in the planning stages of my panel session at the Geek Stage for Theology Beer Camp. I am very, very happy to say that I'm working on an idea with a theologian named Leah Robinson, who kicks all sorts of ass. She has a podcast called Theology on the Rocks that she does with one of her professor buddies, and she is like the realist, and she is super cool. And it's probably if the Georgia Bulldogs have a game that Saturday of beer camp, I know her attention's going to be split. So it'll be fun to hang out with Leah, and hopefully in the next few weeks I can announce to you guys what my topic will be, so that if you want to do the streaming option of beer camp, you can still do that. Tickets, Josh and I were like, tickets might be available, tickets might not be. So we're just going to link in the episode description kind of general information for beer camp, and hopefully that is helpful to anyone that wants to check it out, either at home or in Denver in the middle of October. Now, Joshua, that's all the serious stuff, like the like technical things we had to say. What are the fun aspects, like the overtly nonsensical, crazy things you're looking forward to at Theology Beer Camp? Because you missed last year, unfortunately.
Yeah, not just the drinking. There's going to be some behind the stage Magic the Gathering card playing during some deep theology talks. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, you're going to get your ass handed to you.
Oh yeah, I don't even know how to play. I'm just excited.
Hence why you're going to get your ass handed. I am so excited to play Magic with Joshua Gilbert. He and I have been talking about playing Magic at Beer Camp. Who?
Jared Bias. He's wanting in on that too.
I have a chance. That's where I was like, this I have a chance to play Magic with half of the Bible for normal people. Hell yes.
I'm like, that's the whole reason I'm playing. I'm like, yep, worth it.
I'm gonna rename that game Ass Whoopings for normal people. I need to fine tune my decks then. What's up?
This is only tangentially. Yeah, you know that word, related.
Tangentially, yeah.
But Casa Bonita opens October 1st in Denver.
What is Casa Bonita?
That is the South Park Mecca. So it's described as a Mexican restaurant Disneyland.
Oh my gosh.
There's like performers. There's like 7 different stages you can go to. There's little shops inside. Like, it is crazy. And
so you're going to get away from the proceedings at some point?
I've been following their site for some time.
Oh my gosh.
They've been letting people do like soft open. They've been letting people in for like special reservations. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get one of those. And they're like, oh, JK, we're going to be actually just opened. And I'm like, what? 2 weeks before I'm there, you're just going to be open? It used to be a whole thing, and it shut down during the pandemic. And then the owners of South Park bought it to remake it. Because there's a whole episode of South Park where Cartman, that's like his only life's desire is to go there. And I'm like, well, got to do it. Me and Nick Polk are going to make the South Park Mecca trip.
You know what? Nick Polk sounds like the kind of guy that would make that trip with you. I will. I'll probably stay a little bit closer to home. I can't see talking Kim into that. But man, Joshua, this October, this fall in Denver, there's going to be so much academic, spiritual, theological discussion that I really, really enjoy. And I also am just looking forward to hanging out with my friends that I talk to on the internet all year. And then we get to see each other for like a weekend. We hang out. It's like not nerd Comic-Con, but it's like, it's a specific kind of nerd.
Yeah. Like I was talking about it actually weirdly. I was talking about it on the Whole Church podcast recently.
Okay.
So we were talking about like finding a home church, and then we were discussing like whether or not you can have true online community. And I was like, what's funny is I've referenced you specifically, but I was just talking about like our group. And I was like, here's the thing. Here's how I know that it's real. Is like, we have these podcast communities that we're a part of, and we're doing all this stuff. And I know for a fact, just the way that Ryan Doe's face is going to light up.
I get to be Nick Polk in this. I'm honored.
Yeah, you're Nick Polk. But like the way Ryan his face is gonna light up when I show up there. I was like, that's how I know that like this is like a real connection, because you don't do that if it's just like some random dude you kind of care about. You're just pretending,
No.
like that's like real community, because you react that way when you see each other. And I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be good. And I feel like that's what theology becomes like. That's the real draw, is the community. The other stuff is fun. Like theology is great. The beer is fun, but the real draw for me is the community.
Right. I agree. So many of these professors and theologians and thinkers and philosophers, you could listen to a podcast of them. Like, and it would be just probably similar to the talks they're going to give on a stage at Theology Beer Camp. But Joshua, I think you hit on something really crucial there. It is the community. It is the fun, the shared experience that we get to have at an event like this. And just to close us out here, a frequent gentleman that is both on Systematic Geekology and Across the Bifrost, Mr. Will Rose. What I love about Will Rose on these Theology Beer Camp weekends is he is essentially the youth pastor for the worst youth group that there's ever been. It's just a bunch of adult men that are like, the church hurt me. Please, Will, make it feel better. And he's like, guys, we can have fun doing almost anything. As long as we're together. Anybody got another hazy IPA for me?
It's pretty accurate.
Oh man, Joshua, thanks for coming back and chatting on the podcast. And I know you got a lot going on. You got a lot of your own creative stuff going on, but I appreciate you being a guest, being a friend, and being someone that I am super duper looking forward to hanging out with in a few weeks. Just a matter of weeks, man, in Denver, Colorado.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I can't wait to see you in person. Give you a big bear hug, and then it's
been 2 years. Well, no. We saw each other last fall,
Comic-Con
at North Carolina Comic-Con. So
did you come back for that?
I was not invited, so I don't think we're going to be able to make that trip. But that was a super fun trip as well. We had a riot. That was those few days in Raleigh, Durham. So everybody, if you want to check out Systematic Ecology, you want to check out things that we talked about during this podcast, I'm going to ask Joshua for some links, and we're going to put them in the episode description, whatever they are. Go check them out. I'm sure you'll find something there that is thought-provoking, entertaining, enjoying, and you'll have a good time with that. If you want to check out more Across the Bifrost stuff, we have our Patreon, Discord, and Instagram links there. Check them out. We would love to engage in a conversation with you. And if you have a few extra bucks you want to support the show with, we would also appreciate that as well. Leave a rating and a review if you have the time. That would also be appreciated. Basically, listeners, you guys are awesome, and we want more interactions with you. And we're looking forward to the next time that we jump aboard the Rainbow Bridge. So remember that no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're with, no matter how many weeks from beer camp it is, you need to do one thing, and that is to stay worthy.
If it be worthy, it shall possess the powers.
Bum bum ba dum bum.